This is a full breakdown of the proposed Washington Township Board of Education budget for fiscal year 2026 to 2027. We'll cover where every dollar goes, what it means for your property taxes, and when you can have your say. Here's the headline for Washington Township residents. The actual 2026 to 2027 school budget numbers just aren't in the documents we have. The only thing available is the agenda for a July 28, 2026 board meeting, which covers routine financial check-ins, not the budget vote itself. That vote almost certainly already happened back in the spring. So this video walks through what we do know, what's missing, and exactly where you can find the real numbers. We can't give you Washington Township's exact spending breakdown because those line items weren't in the meeting materials. But typically instruction, meaning teacher salaries and classroom costs, eats up more than half of a district's budget. Employee benefits like health insurance and pensions are usually the next biggest and fastest growing chunk. For the real numbers, residents need the district's official user-friendly budget summary. Support services are another major category in most district budgets, covering guidance counselors, nurses, and special education services. In this agenda, extended school year programming known as ESY comes up again and again. That's summer instruction required for certain special education students, and it comes with its own staffing and busing costs baked into the budget. Administration costs cover the superintendent's office and building leadership, while operations and maintenance pays for custodial staff, utilities, and repairs. Notably, this agenda includes an energy savings plan resolution, which usually signals a multi-year contract to cut utility costs through capital upgrades. That kind of move can shift both the operations budget and any related debt over time. Transportation is its own budget category, covering both regular busing and special education routes. This particular agenda specifically calls out ESY transportation multiple times, along with a rescinded tuition placement, suggesting some movement in how special education services are being delivered and paid for. None of this comes with dollar figures attached in what's public right now. Even without dollar amounts, this meeting shows real movement on the personnel side. There are more than a dozen new staff appointments, along with retirements, resignations, and internal transfers, plus corrections to salary adjustments for the coming school year. All of this affects the district's personnel costs, which are typically the largest chunk of any school budget. Two other items stand out as possible cost factors. There's a new interlocal agreement with the township government, which could mean shared services that lower costs, though details aren't spelled out. There's also a parking license agreement with a company called Roddy LLC, hinting at some commercial property arrangement with the district, again without listed terms or dollar figures. For homeowners, the question everyone wants answered is, how much more will I pay? Right now we can't say because the tax levy, the portion of the budget funded through property taxes, isn't in these documents. In New Jersey, school taxes are typically the single largest piece of a homeowner's property tax bill, so this is worth tracking down directly from the board secretary or the district's website. Under New Jersey law, school budgets are typically adopted by late April or early May, ahead of the July 1st fiscal year start. That means the real budget vote for 2026 to 2027 almost certainly already took place months before this July 28th meeting. What's on this agenda instead are routine follow-up items, like the board secretary's report and monthly line item status checks on a budget that's already locked in. One small but tangible change for families. A new yoga club is being proposed under instructional affairs, a modest addition to student extracurriculars. Separately, a revised 2026 to 2027 district calendar is also up for discussion, which could affect school start dates, holidays, or early dismissal schedules. Parents will want to keep an eye on that calendar once it's finalized. If you want the actual numbers, total budget, tax levy, per pupil spending, the place to look is board docs, specifically board meeting packets from March through May of 2026. That's when the formal budget presentation, public hearing, and adoption vote would have happened. You can also request the district's user-friendly budget summary directly from the board secretary's office for a plain language breakdown. You still have a voice in how this budget gets managed. The July 28, 2026 regular session includes two separate public comment periods where residents can address the board directly about spending, staffing, or programs. Written comments can also be submitted through the superintendent's office ahead of time. And mark your calendar for spring 2027, likely March or April, when the next full budget hearing will give residents their biggest opportunity to shape next year's numbers. That's the full budget breakdown. The complete written deep dive is available free at New Jersey Washington Town GTL, Substack.com. Subscribe so you never miss an update. And if you find this useful, a small donation at kofi.com/govthroughlean helps keep this reporting free and independent.